So first, we'll try to understand that what are the salient features associated with any payment processing, uh, as long as your e-business transaction is concerned, whether it is B2B communication or whether it is a B2C communication. So every way, payment is playing a very important role. Okay, even as long as to carry on the procurement management also, obviously you need to go ahead with sophisticated payment gateways. Okay, so payment gateways playing a very important role in any kind of e-business transactions. As I told you, whether it is B2B or it is B2C, everywhere it's having its own impact. Okay, because we cannot simply carry on the business process without understanding the payment gateway. Even as an e-commerce analyst also, whenever you are going through any of the case studies, there also sometimes you have to suggest that which particular payment gateway is suitable in this particular context. Okay, so that is also another very important part. Always you have to take care of that, as long as any business case you are solving or you are suggesting some suitable solution. So they are also payment gateway playing a very important role. Okay, so today we'll discuss about the fundamentals of the payment gateways. That's really very important. Okay, so first we will see that what are the obstacle associated with the e-commerce payment. So if you consider the perception of the end users, they are actually reluctant on using the financial information in the e-commerce platform. Okay, because of the possible fraudulent transactions. Okay, so most of the customers you will see that they are not ready to share their credit card information or debit card information. So for that, what we need exactly in any business site, a very trusted third party payment gateway. Okay, basically payment gateway is implemented by a third party organization. It's never provided by any e-business organization. Okay, but the most important thing what we need to keep in mind that it should be a trusted and respected payment method. That's very important, so that customer can rely on that particular payment method. Okay, so because customers experience at the end of the day is really very important. If the customer feels that the payment gateway is not suitable, obviously they are not going to use any kind of credit card or debit card information over there. So that's a very important part. Always you have to take care of, and there are basically two very important approach we use in that particular context. Okay, so one is obviously the transaction is processing in a very offline mode. That's basically called an offline processing in the backend system, while any specific transaction being processed. That is one of the approach. And another very important approach is basically fully integrated system, and you are using any online method. Okay, that's the most popular among the customers, like you are entering credit card or debit card information and you are processing the payment. Okay, but both the options are basically available while you are making any kind of payment. Okay, whether it is, as I told you, it can be related to procurement of raw materials, or a normal customer is also making the payment. But everywhere this particular process is really very important to carry on the business process. So that's really very important. First, we will try to understand that how the payment process goes on in any e-business. What are the different categories of payment process? That is really very important. Okay, so have a look. These are the methods basically used for e-commerce payment process. These are the methods basically we use on e-commerce payment process. So today we'll discuss on what are those methods, pros and cons associated with this particular method. Okay, the most conventional method, if you consider, is obviously the cash on delivery. Okay, is completely an offline process, as you know. Followed by that, advance payment using check or money order, credit card with offline processing, credit card with online processing. So these are the two methods basically associated with credit card. That is one of the most suitable, most convenient option most of the customers basically prefer. Online checks or bank account debit, that is also another next possible way of making the payment. Or other than that, online payment services like PayPal is one of the organization who is basically providing the online payment services. So these are the different type of methods. So as I already told you, if any case study also being given to you, so first, maybe you have to select that which one is the best method we can make use of here, as long as your payment processing is concerned. Okay, so we'll see one by one that what are the advantages or disadvantages, or in which particular context basically you are going to make use of one particular method. So that's really interesting over here to know. Later on we will apply this particular knowledge while solving any business problem related to payment, related to e-commerce. Okay, let's start. So first one is obviously called the cash on delivery payment method. Okay, so cash on delivery is obviously a very conventional payment method. So once the product being delivered at the doorstep of the customer can make that particular payment. Okay, now in COD also nowadays, as you have seen that the business organizations also making use of the POS device instead of conventional check or cash method. Okay, sometimes customer doesn't carry that much of cash also. Okay, so that is also nowadays very popular as long as your COD or cash on delivery is concerned. Okay, but in order to avoid the use of check money orders, basically most of the business organization avoids that as long as COD is concerned, because the fear is insufficient fund maybe in the account. So always prefer to have delivery using either hard cash or using a point of sale devices. Okay, so that is another way of doing the payment. So this is basically termed as COD, cash on delivery payment method. Okay, that is really very important method as long as your business transaction is concerned. Fine. So while going through any of the method, please try to understand the pros and cons associated with the method, so that very effectively you can make use of that method. That's really important over here. Okay, so the first, that is the one of the most conventional method we use for any specific type of e-business application, that is called COD. Followed by that, purchase order, post purchase billing. So that is also another very important, as long as if you consider another scenario, that is B2B communication, B2B transactions, where any procurement is going on. Just few minutes back we are discussing about procuring the ingredients. There also we make use of a specific payment method. Okay, generation of purchase order, we have already studied that in one of the modules, like inventory and order control. We have seen that how the purchase order is basically generated. Okay, so here the most important part should be taken care of, like the tracking of the payment, or whether the collection has been made properly or not. Okay, so a very important method which is basically followed in the backend business process, if you consider, that is basically called choosing a specific payment method for doing the procurement. Okay, once your vendor has already given the supply of the raw material, the next task is to complete the payment part. Okay, so while you are doing, it's purely on the B2B side, like the previous one which you have seen purely on the B2C side, we use cash on delivery, because in large corporate transactions we never make use of cash on delivery method. But this is one of the way we can do, that is called generation of purchase order and sending the bill, post purchase bill sometimes sent, and based on that also payment got cleared. That is very important part to carry on your back-end business process. Please understand what exactly we are trying to do using this particular payment processing method. Okay, coming to the next, that's the most popular method as we have already discussed, called credit card processing. Now, credit card processing is also divided into two components. One is basically termed as credit card with offline processing and credit card with the online processing strategies. Okay, so that is two very important strategy we use over here. One is not that much conventional credit card with the offline processing, because sometimes in order to avoid fraudulent transactions, uh, it can also be used like you have a credit card and you are making use of that particular card, but not using any specific online processing. Maybe you are using a point of sale device to purchase that particular product. Okay, so that is also another thing which we are discussing on cash on delivery method. Okay, credit card with the offline process to avoid the risk during the purchase. So that's the reason why we have started the discussion. Also, we told that in broader categories, payment divided into two halves. One is payment in an offline medium, another is payment using the complete online platform. Fine. So this is basically termed as credit card with offline processing. Yes, sometimes we make use of that in order to avoid any specific type of fraudulent transactions. Okay, because as I told you at the beginning that sometimes customers are really scared of entering the credit card information in the online platform whenever they see that the payment gateway is not that much secure. So that's really very important. Always you have to keep in mind. So at the same point of time, we also make use of a very common method, as I told you, that is called credit card with the online processing. So while you are doing that, basically two most important parameter you have to keep in mind while you are doing the online process. One is the order fulfillment, that's very important, and notifying to the corresponding customer. So order fulfillment means an order ID should be generated. Customer will be able to track that particular order, and customer notification. So once the payment has been done, a successful message should be sent to the customer with the payment notification ID that the customer has made the payment successfully. That's really very important. Validation of the card is playing a very important role over here. So you should have a tie-up with the back-end business process. We will learn that actually here, that how the back-end business process related to credit card processing can be performed. Okay, how the back-end process related to the credit card processing can be performed. But yes, this is very important to notify the customer once your payment part is already done